Hi, my name is Kyle. I make multiple six figures for my clients. I've made personally over $30,000 in a month for myself. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through what are the first three things I would sort of automate or look at automating if I'm just starting to try to get more efficient within my business and get it to the next 100K month. It could be 100K, 200K, 300K. What we talk about here is multiple six figures and hitting them months. So yeah, in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to go about doing that and the first few things I'd automate. So first of all, some client results. As you can see here, loads of clients saying good stuff about me that I've made multiple six figures for and got them to their next level, next milestone. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is automating parts. Now, what I mean by that is currently you'll have a sales process, okay? You'll have a marketing process, you'll have fulfillment, and then you'll sort of have like admin / like expenses, legal, that type of stuff, right? It's like the four main departments, four main areas of business, right? The finance, you could call it as well. So what I think is the most important thing to automate first, because this is what I see a lot of people do. They spend more and more on tokens, on AI, on workflows, on credits, but their revenue stays the same. So that means the thing you're automating on is just a waste of time, right? There is no purpose, because the purpose of a business is to generate a profit. So if you aren't generating a profit, or if you aren't on the way to generating a profit, your business has no use, unless it's like a non-profit or it's like a charity, right? But anyways, the first things I would look at automating are sales and marketing. And the reason is because these two are directly related to revenue and profit. Now, I wouldn't go about automating the entire thing. Please do not do that. Don't just say, look, okay, now's the time. I'm going to automate absolutely everything. I'm going to be completely on my own, full AI agents, don't need me. I wouldn't recommend that at all. I think the best use case and the most efficient and what will get you the best returns, because it's worked for me and again, like for all my clients I've worked with. You want to basically like sprinkle throughout the process different AI and automations. Now, whenever someone says AI agents, I can't lie, it always angers me, because I feel like they don't really know what they're talking about when they say AI agents. The reason is because if you say an agent, right, and they ask you to define an agent, you'll be like, well, it does my emails. Like, they can't clearly define it. An agent, right, is just an LLM, which is a large language model, like Claude, like GPT, like Grok or Gemini, something like that, right? It's an LLM which has a skill. And now a skill is literally just a mix of Python scripts, which is just a type of coding language, which executes the instructions. And the instructions are just a .md file, so a markdown file. So agents are essentially instructions and Python scripts carrying out a task, also known as a skill. That's what it is. So realistically, you're wanting to build skills within your sales and marketing process that can help speed things up. So for example, let's say you do outreach, okay? Let's say you do, I don't know, Instagram DM outreach. You shouldn't go about automating everything. The reason is because you'll end up sending out a lot of messages, which will get you into spam, which will get your account shut down. And I think they are cracking down on Instagram DMs anyways. You shouldn't do this, right? Instead, break down every single part that you do. Okay, literally from step one to step finish. First, I source the leads. Then I do research. Okay, what do I do after research? Well, then I organize them, put them in a list. Okay, then I craft the message. Okay, then what do you do that? Then I send. So as you can see, there's like 5 different parts to this sales process that you may be doing or someone else might be doing. So this is what you're wanting to break it down. Break it down into even more minute parts. Like, where do you source leads from? How do you do the research? That type of thing. Then, let's say the research part takes you 5 hours. You want to look at, how can I automate this research section of the entire thing? I would automate everything that isn't client facing, just to be safe. If you aren't going to be having the final go ahead on it, I wouldn't recommend anything right now which just sends things out which you haven't checked. Because if you're sending out a lot of AI written copy and messages, people can smell it, right? People can tell, and then it just creates a lot of bad reputation and image. So thoroughly check what you're sending out, make sure it looks good, looks right. And then once you think, okay, it looks good, have that be sent. But for example, for the research section, that can be done by AI. You can get it to scrape like its profile, maybe like its link, find other related profiles, get information off like LinkedIn or like Facebook as well. That part of your process should be automated. So when I'm saying automate parts of your process, this is what I mean. Lay out step by step exactly what you're doing in a certain tactic. For example, let's say you're doing YouTube, right? You're putting out loads of YouTube videos. Well, first you have to come up with the idea. Then there's pre-video, and then there's like during production, and then there's post. And then break down the steps more like creating a thumbnail or come up with the titles, that type of stuff. What parts can you get AI to help you with so you can speed up your workflow? That is really like a VA type of task where it doesn't really take much thought to do, but it still needs to be done and can take a while. Those are the best tasks to get AI to do. So that's what I think about when you're trying to decide on what to automate first. First, look at sales and marketing because these will make you the most money. Then look at the processes within that process you have within your sales and marketing process, where you can cut a part out and have AI do that instead, because that now means you can have a higher output, which will increase your revenue and therefore your profit. The second thing, so I guess this is sort of related to the last one, but if you're going to build like just an automation, you basically have nothing in place. This is one of the best ones, speed to lead. And it's what I build out for myself, for my clients. It's one of the most common things you should put in place. Now, the reason why it's so effective is because for speed to lead, right? Everyone knows the study. There's like a 391% conversion if you get to leads within 5 minutes. So getting to leads straight away is one of the highest probably leveraged tasks you can do without adding anything extra. Like if you have a business that gets leads within 24 hours, that is at like 25k a month, for example. And then you have a business, exact same business, but they get to leads within 5 minutes, they'd be at 100k a month. Sell the exact same products, sell the exact same things to the exact same type of customers. One just answers a bit quicker because they have a 4x increase in sales. So this is like one of the most important things if you're gonna do anything, please get some type of process in place that notifies you of new leads coming in and either helps you draft a message or you just actually send the message, whatever is needed, but it should notify you straight away. A really common one that I like to build out. So let's say they come in through a Typeform. From there, we can either use something like Zapier or Make.com. These are just two no-code platforms. By no-code, that just means it's drag and drop. You can place in nodes. A node is basically a specific platform which has already been pre-coded. Right, each platforms add like pre-coded blocks that you can just chuck in, so it's really easy for you to do, so that you can just name things, you connect things easily. It's like just drag and drop. It's supposed to make it as simple as possible for you. So you can have Typeform like submission. So you have a Typeform, someone submits it. You use Zapier or Make to track that or watch that submission. Then from there, it would go to like a Slack channel. And in the Slack channel, it includes things like it includes things like the lead's details. So that means you can have someone like check mark it and then call up the lead. Or you have another platform like Go High Level, Close, ClickFunnels, which also put the leads into there. And you're going to outreach to them through that platform. So either way, however you want to go about it, you might just call them on your normal cell phone. If anything you're going to do, you need to have a system which does speed to lead. And the third and final thing I would think is such a good thing to automate is reporting/dashboards. Now people would put this at a lower list, and I do as well. I put it lower in the list purely because it's not directly tied to revenue. But you genuinely, I'm going to talk about this a lot, I'm not a data guy, but I'm really specific on getting the numbers right, because if your numbers are cooked, you have no clue what you're doing and you can't make any good decisions. Your business literally can't get to the point it can get to if you don't know your numbers. So this can literally be the way I like to do it. Obviously, you can have Claude. So you jump inside of Claude Code, right? Get out of co-work, right? Real men are in Claude Code. From there, you want to then connect via API keys. Don't use MCPs. They're not made the best. Connect your API keys from all the platforms that you use that are directly related to things you want to track. So you connect to like a ClickUp or a GHL, anything like that. So it can pull data from it. You might even just connect it to Google Sheets, so you can track all of this. From there, you basically want to aggregate them in one platform. So a very, very common one is like Supabase, or you can use things like Airtable as well. So both work, but mainly use Supabase. I use Supabase as well. I feel like it's the easiest, simplest to use. So I use that one. And then from there, you then just have to have a front end. So this can take a while to build, obviously. A front end which displays the dashboard. And you have to make sure the back end's right and you've set it up correctly. But yeah, no, that's everything I build out first. If I was just jumping into this, like the AI automation space, wanted to make some workflows more efficient, wanted to make some more money, more importantly, make more profit, because these are the most important things you should look at. And don't just go about automating some genuine garbage. Like if I see people automating, like, oh, changing the color when I log on, oh my God, don't waste your time. If I see you wasting tokens on that, I will never speak to you again. So please don't do that. Make sure you actually focus on stuff that generates revenue, and always saying, okay, what is the purpose of this? What outcome am I trying to get to? What goal am I trying to get to? Does this generally help me get there? You know, just changing the color on my Claude Code terminal make a difference? No. Okay. Does having something watch my email inboxes and then categorize them by every single thing really make a difference? No. Like, don't do stuff like that unless it's genuinely going to make you more money or save you a lot of money. Cool. So that should answer everything for you. That's how I go about it. And this is what I build out for my clients as well. So you should now know how to make loads of money and be successful in life. But no, be generous, work hard, and take risks. And we'll speak soon.